Patrick Byrne, the CEO and chairman of Overstock.com, sits with PRI to talk about Milton Friedman and how he has influenced his business practices.
Milton Friedman has influenced me throughout my career in business in the sense of he taught that real business was about competing. He didn't have any illusions about about business people, but he understand that good business people aren't out there trying to cheat people. They're out there they're competing to deliver the greatest value they can for the dollar. That's how that's where the competition lies. It's not slicing each other's throat in some evil way. It's just competing to be better and to bring your customers more value. And that's whatever industry I've been in, that's basically been the philosophy. What would Milton say about our current economic situation? I think he would say this is the natural conclusion of a cycle that starts once you go on fractional reserve banking. You go on fractional reserve banking, you always end up having bank runs, and because you have bank runs, the government forms a lender of last resort, which is the central bank. And then once you've got a central bank, you've got central planners trying to fine-tune the price in society of money. There were different phases in his life and in his intellectual life. There was the original sort of 100% reserve banking, then monetarism, but with strict rules. He ended up after, say, 1986, believing both in free banking, which I think, given the data of recent years, I don't think he was too committed to completely free banking, but he did speculate about the virtues of a gold-backed currency, so get out of the fiat currency altogether. And he speculated about it as well. A remote possibility might be theoretically better, but not likely that we're going to have a chance to do it unless this country ever ends up in a hyperinflationary period, at which point there would be a way out of it, which would be cutting the federal government to 10% and switching to gold-backed currency. So he saw that as a remote possibility that he mentioned in one of his later writings. So I think that he would see what's happening now as just the playing out of these bad monetary tendencies, coupled with this dynamic he often referred to of, in a democracy, it's always politically popular to spend, it's not politically popular to tax. And so you end up with a difference, the deficit, that it just builds and builds and builds. As chairman of the board, that's hard for me to even say chairman of the Friedman Foundation board. I consider it a rare lapse of judgment on Milton's part and Milton and Rose's part that they asked me to do this. It's hard to even pick out my most fond memory because all my memories of Milton seem to include him delivering some zinger of a one-liner. He was so funny. And it's something that doesn't get, he would also, of course, they once said of Richard Feynman that there are two kinds of geniuses, the kind that you and I would be if we were just a lot smarter than we are, and then the kind that Richard Feynman was, which is just an altogether different kind of genius. Obviously, Milton Friedman was in that category. Unyielding on matters of ethics, just brilliant, and a fantastic, charming, gentle, sweet disposition. Qualities I've never ever found in one. I don't think history makes those kinds of allocations in general to just one person. So I can't recall a meeting I had with him where he didn't have something really funny to say, even if it was something sly or something that was just supposed to make a light bulb go off for me. I can't remember a meeting I had with him where he didn't have something very clever and very funny to say.